Introduction. The affective fallacy, a concept introduced by W.K. Wimsatt and Monroe C. Beardsley in their essay published in 1946, challenged the prevailing notion that the value of a poem could be determined solely by its emotional impact on readers. In opposition to I.A. Richards' influential stance on the matter, Wimsatt and Beardsley argued that evaluating a poem based on its reader's emotional response would lead to subjective and impressionistic criticism. Instead, they proposed a focus on objective criticism, centering on the formal features and devices employed in the poem to achieve certain effects. However, their ideas faced criticism and were subject to modification over time. This video will explore the concept of the affective fallacy, its relationship to the objective criticism, and its influence on the development of reader response criticism during the 1970s. The affective fallacy and objective criticism. Wimsatt and Beardsley contended that evaluating a poem based on its emotional impact was problematic since emotions are subjective and vary from reader to reader. This subjectivity would undermine the objectivity necessary for genuine literary criticism. Instead, they emphasized the importance of focusing on the poem itself as a self-contained object, independent of readers' reactions. By analyzing the formal elements, literary devices, and structures employed by the author, critics could identify the poem's intrinsic qualities and assess its artistic merit. Their opposition to the affective fallacy led to the formulation of the concept of objective criticism. Objective criticism, as advocated by Wimsatt and Beardsley, involves investigating the technical aspects of the poem, such as meter, rhyme, imagery, symbolism, and syntax. By understanding the author's craftsmanship, critics can uncover the intended effects the poet sought to achieve. This approach attempts to place the poem within a broader literary context and avoid reducing it to mere subjective impressions. The evolution of affective fallacy. While Wimsatt and Beardsley's critique of the affective fallacy brought about a significant shift in literary criticism, it was not without its own criticisms and adaptations. Monroe C. Beardsley, in particular, later acknowledged that critical evaluation could not entirely disregard the reader's response. He considered that certain types of effects on readers play a role in assessing the artistic merit of a work. This modified version of the affective fallacy still aimed at objective criticism, but allowed for a nuanced understanding of how the reader's experience can inform the evaluation process. By acknowledging the interplay between the text and its audience, the modified affective fallacy attempted to strike a balance between objective analysis and its acknowledgement of subjectivity in literary interpretation. Influence on reader response criticism. The extreme reaction against the affective fallacy came during the 1970s with the rise of reader response criticism. This approach sought to emphasize the significance of readers' responses and experiences in the interpretation and evaluation of literary works. Reader response critics argued that the meaning of a poem is co-constructed by the reader and the text, thereby placing more weight on individual interpretations and personal reactions. Conclusion: the affective fallacy introduced by Wimsatt and Beardsley challenged the prevailing view of evaluating poems solely based on their emotional impact on readers. Their advocacy for objective criticism, focusing on formal features and devices, had a profound impact on the evolution of literary criticism. However, the subsequent modifications and the emergence of reader response criticism showed that the interaction between the reader and the text is an essential aspect of literary interpretation. The ongoing dialogue between objective and subjective perspectives in literary criticism continues to enrich our understanding of literary works. So this was the discussion on affective fallacy. If you have any doubts or questions, you can ask in the comment section, and we'll meet in next video with some other topic. Until then, thank you and bye bye.